I'd like to go to Tofunmi Akinseye here to please step forward and make our presentation.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. And firstly, I'd like to say a big thank you to Tutu for the opportunity to be here as a speaker. I'm always excited when I am presented with opportunities to engage young people. I think I've been doing it for the past 11 years. I also want to commend Tutu for doing this because this is a very bold move. We're at a critical time in our country where we need to reinforce such conversations. Because at the end of the day, people say, oh, we do too much of talks. There are so many seminars, so many youth participation events, right? But the truth is we can't get tired because we need to keep on reinforcing the culture and the values required for the new Nigeria. So I want to say a big thank you to Tutu. I've had the opportunity to be in close doors with Tutu, and I can see how passionate she is about the country. I've always been very passionate, and I'm so glad to see like minds like her. I also want to say a big thank you to everyone here. I mean, you all could have decided to be somewhere else. It's such a challenging time for us as a country and as a people, especially as young people. But so for us to all leave our houses and say, you know what, I need to be here, despite of how challenging it is, despite of how much you spend on TFA coming here, you are here, and it's very, very appreciated. I want to say a big thank you to you. Now, before going into my conversation today, it is very important and very key that I set the tone for today. I know that, anyway, to told me I had 25 minutes, so I had prepared for 25 minutes, but I'll try my best to reduce the conversation as much as I can. So it's essential to share a bit of my background to set the stage for today's conversation. As a media professional, a magazine publisher, I'm also called the celebrity storyteller. I'm also a PR consultant and a content producer. And so I've seen how storytelling shapes perception and, more importantly, action. My journey into media started in 2013 during my university days. I've always had a penchant for writing. And eventually I launched a Youth Focus magazine. Today we've published around 17 editions. Originally, the magazine aims to highlight exceptional young people excelling in various fields. But early on, we recognized the psychology behind public interest, right? And we saw the value in featuring familiar faces. So we featured popular African talents like Adekunle Gold, Shei Shei, Yemi Alade, Patoran King on our covers, allowing us to capture the audience attention while showcasing incredible emerging African talents. Now, this goes to show that there is a powerful psychology behind storytelling. People respond to stories that resonate emotionally and personally to them. This same psychology is at work across the stories we see daily, especially on social media. And now with the democratization of information sharing, everyone now is a storyteller. You agree with me? Especially young people. Before the advent of social media, the way we received information and the way we consumed information was left to a few people called the journalists. But what social media has done is to democratize that process. And it's part of welcoming innovation. Because looking at a country like Nigeria, where we have over 70% of young people, it means that 70% of young Nigerians have been given a tool, right, to engage in things that affect them. One of such is good governance. Now, we know, but at the end of the day, we all have a choice about how we portray Nigeria's story as a storyteller. Are we sharing stories of hope, resilience, and progress, even amidst our challenges, or are we focused on only the doom? As I continued my career, I joined MTN as a copywriter. Here, I told the stories of MTN's values and propositions, driving engagement and interest among our audience. And then I implement the AIDA principle called attention, interest, desire, and action, which reminds us that every story has a purpose. For NTN, that meant telling stories that lead to customers. Sorry, I'll take that again. For NTN, that meant telling stories that lead customers to feel, to think, and to act. This principle is at the heart of an effective storytelling, as it allows brands to craft narratives that engage both emotionally and tangibly. Now, today with social media, like I said earlier, we're all storytellers. For every post or story we share, we need to ask ourselves, what is the purpose behind this story? What emotions are we stirring? Are we seeking unity? Are we seeking division? Are we seeking accuracy or just assumptions? My experience in PR has shown me the power of storytelling in shaping perceptions positively, and has also shown me the danger of a one-sided story. We're in an age where anyone can create and share information, often leading to biased, incomplete, or damaging narratives that affect individuals and communities alike. And so as patriotic Nigerians and as young people, it is very important that we have ourselves with the necessary information and that we're objective and we're factual when telling the story of brand Nigeria. Now, I'd like to speak about, go quickly into media literacy. In a democratic society, it's critical that we focus on ethical storytelling. And here are a few guiding principles. One is authenticity. Stories should be told, stories should be true, genuine, connecting honestly with the audience. Our stories should be respectful. Messaging should remain respectful regardless of the subject. There has to be transparency when we're telling stories. Being upfront about intentions builds trust. We need to avoid stereotypes. Stories should reflect the full diversity of experience. I remember a few weeks ago, I was at an event and we all had the opportunity to say or to write something we wanted to see change in Nigeria. And I said the lack of nuance in our conversations. So you go through social media and you realize that for a lot of people, it's either black or white. There are no middle grounds. And I'll say to you, do you think that it is fair that if I'm talking about you, I do not regard your history, I do not regard your challenges, that I pick you one day, someone in the crowd, I want to talk about you, and I judge you based on only what I can see. I do not take into cognizance your history. I do not take into cognizance your challenges and your peculiarities. So I said, and like I repeated, the lack of nuance in our conversations is something I really hope that one day we can tackle. And the only way we can tackle the lack of nuance in story conversations is something I really hope that one day we can tackle. And the only way we can tackle the lack of nuance in storytelling and the stories that we tell as young people is when we understand governance. It's very important. You know, when I came in here, I thought I was going to see a lot of young people, but I can see a mixed demographic, which is very interesting. And as I sat down, I thought about something that happened during the 2023 elections. I like to engage people a lot, and sometimes I will engage Uber drivers. Sometimes I will engage the guys at the mechanic store, the guys who do not have social media. And one thing I noticed is that they were very much informed than the young people on social media. And when you see how they approach governance and our problems in Nigeria, you see it's coming from a multifaceted approach. You see it's coming from a place of information. And that was very, very fascinating for me. Because in a time, the digital age has made us marginalize older people. We don't care about what they have to say. We think we know it all. But it's a reminder, and it's an humbling experience. It was a very humbling experience for me, engaging the Uber drivers, engaging the mechanics, and seeing that they even knew more about governance than we young people. And so I challenge the young people in the room today. that it's high time we bridge the gap between the young and the old. We may think we know it all because of the digital age, but hey, no. These people got information when journalism was still journalism. They got the information from traditional media, from channels, from respectable sources. They've been following through on the history of Nigeria. They do not get content from snackable content on social media. I mean information. They do not get information from clickbait headlines, right? They have more knowledge to share. And it's very critical and very important that we identify these people within our communities and engage with them. That is the only way we can tell the true story of brand Nigeria. You cannot tell the true story of brand Nigeria without being harmed with the necessary information about the country, where we used to be, where we are now, and where we want to be. And so, like I said earlier, as I continue my speech, storytelling is both an art and a science. In media, we take into account culture, nuance, empathy, and history, knowing that these are ethical foundations for true stories. Let's use our platform to tell stories that not only educate, but also uplift, challenge, and inspire. Today, as much as ever, we have a unique opportunity to be active participants in shaping Nigeria's narrative for the world. I'll leave you with this story before leaving. And don't mind my gender bias. Now, ladies and gentlemen, imagine, if you will, with me, a woman named Nigeria, a vibrant, multifaceted individual, bursting with stories, dreams, and potential. Yet, when the world speaks of her, they focus only on the headlines, the struggles, the failures, the crises that seem to define her. They paint her in broad strokes, neglecting the intricate details that reveal her true essence. Let's picture Nigeria at a gathering. When guests gather to gossip, did we hear about Nigeria, they say? They whisper, rolling their eyes at her missteps. She's always in the news for the wrong reasons. They recount tales of her challenges, the corruption scandals, the economic downturns, and the violence that sometimes erupts in her neighborhoods. But do they have bother to ask about her dreams, about the resilience she's shown in the face of adversity? Not a chance. Nigeria is like an artist whose canvas is splattered with vibrant colors of diversity, ethnicities, languages, cultures, and traditions. Yet, all anyone wants to talk about is the one spot of dark paint. Oh, she must be a disaster, they conclude, failing to see the beauty in her complexity. They ignore our history, the vibrant markets filled with laughter and life, the entrepreneurs innovating in technology and fashion, the youth eager to transform their future. If I were in Nigeria, I'd feel trapped in a one-dimensional narrative, stifled by the weight of others' perceptions. You only see my failures, I'd ask. What about the triumphs, the struggles I've overcome, and the potential I still hold? I'd remind them that even a slow journey can lead to great destinations. And just as the seed must push through the soil before they can bloom, Nigeria is slowly but surely rising, nurtured by our people's determination and hope. And so as we gather today as patriotic people, let us commit to telling a fuller story. Let's peel back the layers and celebrate the complexities of Nigeria, the strength in our struggles, the richness of our diversity, and the promise of our potential. Because every narrative matters and every voice deserves to be heard. As I leave, I would say, may we be the storytellers who do not merely reflect our nation's struggles, but who amplify its hopes, honoring both where we are and where we're determined to go.
Amen.
Thank you very much. That was for me. Please, can we put our hands together for Tofunmi for that